Hi guys, the Empinated here. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a fully dynamic health bar. Additionally, we'll add a color transition system so that the bar changes color when health drops below certain thresholds. Let's get started. Okay guys, so first of all, let's go to the character blueprint to create two float variables. The maximum health and also let's duplicate to get our current health. Next, compile to alter the max health. In this case, we're going to work with 100. After this, we're going to create the actual widget blueprint. So let's go to the content drawer, right click and user interface to create the widget blueprint. User widget, and let's name it WBP health bar. Let's open it up. So the first thing we need to put is a canvas panel and a horizontal box as a child to align and organize the different elements of the health bar. Hold Ctrl Alt to modify the anchors to bottom center. Let's change the Y position to -100. Next, let's give the widget a nice background with a border. So let's drag it inside the horizontal box. Let's change its size to fill the box and change the brush color to something like a gray with a little of transparency, like 0.4 is okay. Let's add a horizontal box inside the border to replace with child the horizontal one above because I made a mistake. Let's align it vertically and also a text block that says health. This is just to make the hood look nicer. Let's adjust also some of the padding values and the outline size to 3. All of this is just for aesthetic purposes. It is not necessary. Now let's add an overlay inside the horizontal box. This way we can organize multiple elements. I am constantly adjusting some of the parameters to make it look a little bit nice, but it isn't necessary, okay? Now let's add the progress bar inside the overlay and adjust the parameters to make it look nice, such as the transparent background image and the initial filling percent. You can make also invisible this marquee image. Then select a color to fill the opacity, in this case green. Copy paste the text health and put it inside the overlay because we want to keep the format but change the parameters. Remember to check the isVariable option and give it a name, in this case txt number. Once we finish to design the widget, let's go to the event graph. Delete the event preconstruct and tick no so we can focus in the event construct only. So let's create our new function called setBar in order to program the behavior of the bar. Let's first create some inputs. The first one will be an object reference of the progress bar. So let's call it progress bar. Then the next one will be a text object reference called text, following by two floats for the current parameter and the actual parameter. Finally, a variable called number for the displayed current health, and that will be a text. Hit compile and save. Let's drag from the progress bar input a node called set% to set the behavior of the progress bar, and drag from text input a node called Set text to display the current health number. Connect the in-text pin to the number input. Then divide the current parameter by the maximum parameter to obtain a normalized value, a flow between 0 and 1. Now drag the normalized value again to assign a color to each threshold. Let's put a branch, and if the normalized quantity is less or equal to 0.25, the color of the bar changes. For this, we need to call the node set fill color and opacity and make a local variable from the in-color pin and drag it to the timeline. Let's pick red to show we are running low on energy. Let's duplicate the variable setting to add another threshold. Let's connect another branch in the pin false from the previous one to add another condition. So if the normalized value is less or equal to 0.5, that means the half. Let's add a warning color such as yellow. And finally connect all the remaining pins. Also remember to set the default color of the bar, in my case green. Now let's go to the event graph and set up this function with the necessary variables inside a custom event called set health bar. Drag the function to start calling the variables, the progress in progress bar input and the txt number in the text input. Next, we need to call these previously created variables inside this character rubric. To access them, we need to add a get player character node and make a cast on BP underscore third person character inside the event construct node to create a direct character reference inside a variable called character reference. Drag the character ref to find the get current health and connect it to current parameter pin. Do the same with max health and connect it to the parameter input. To finish, connect the current health variable to the number input to display the current value of our health. Finally, let's set up the initial state of the bar in the event construct. From the character reference, call the set current health and make it the same value as max health. Next, drag the set health bar event to initialize the bar at its maximum state. Now we need a place to properly display the health bar. For this, we will use the player controller. New blueprint class, player controller, and let's name it my controller. And let's open it up. Then go to the event graph and let's delete the event tick. In the begin play event, let's add a create widget node from class. In this case, the health bar. Let's find it. Then create a reference to it in the controller. Finally connect it to an add to viewport node to make it visible in-game. Finally, let's go to the game mode blueprint and change the player controller class to the one we just created. So change to my controller. To wrap things up, let's go to the character blueprint and set up a simple event that decreases the player's health. First, change the casting of the controller to my controller and make a reference to access the variables of that blueprint from the third person character and reconnect everything back to its original position. Then call the debug key 1 to decrease the bar each time it is pressed. So let's add a branch, drag current health to the graph, And if it is less or equal to 0, let's make some condition. If false, let's decrease our current health by, for example, 10, and update the variable. And finally, let's drag the controller reference to get the bar reference, which contains the current state of our health bar, and connect. For the sake of simplicity, if the condition is true, we'll add a print string node so it shows a game over on the screen each time the key is pressed. Now let's test it. As you can see, the bar is correctly displayed, and every time I press the 1 key, our health goes down by 10. The health bar updates to show the current value, and its color changes depending on the threshold we're passing. And once the health reaches 0, the screen displays game over. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you found this tutorial useful, and remember to follow me on X. Bye.